a double tally of goals.
Taifa Stars and Harambee Stars, all the hopes and dreams of East Africa in regards to lifting this particular title remain solely with the Uganda Cranes, who are battling Senegal this particular evening in Nambole Stadium, with, of course, Senegal, the defending champions, and Uganda urged and rode home by the huge support at home. It's going to be an interesting match that Uganda will be eager to win, while Senegal will be out there to stamp the authority and retain the title. How will it pan out? Of course, welcome to our quarterfinal pre-match analysis on Banana.
Kicked out of the group stages, 6 attempts they had and fallen short. It had to wait for the moment it came home at the Nelson Mandela Stadium, where they finally able to pull it off. Now, can they go a step further? With the tickets selling out in barely 8 hours when they were put on the market, well, the stadium is definitely up in rafters in terms of sound, decibel, and cheers and chants. And now comes the moment where the two teams must alight into this chaldron of emotions. Popularly known as the Cathedral of Sports in Uganda, the Nelson Mandela Stadium for the next 90 minutes and beyond, if need be, will now play host and witness to the quarterfinals of the 8th edition of the African Nations Championships. Gavin Chizito Mugweri and Regan Mpande, some of the youngsters that have now been blooded to come of age and have earned the right now to take on some of their would-be idols, titans in every right. And once again, they'll be tested out here in the next couple of minutes. And all hopes will be pinned on the playmaker-in-chief, Alan Okello, shot 21. He's been the maestro and will now pit his weights against the very best here from Senegal. With Kenya having been dumped out yesterday, as well as Tanzania, East Africa's sole representative in the Pamoja tournament is now Uganda, and they do have quite the task ahead of them. Senegal will be intent on making sure that they make it once again to the semi-finals and attempt to retain their crown. The match is in a couple of seconds, but for now we pay allegiance to the two nations and their national anthems. unprecedented picks, magical moments, historical errors. They have already written their names up in bright lights. Once again, the Uganda Cranes have been tested. Will they live up to the billing? Once again, 90 minutes for the semi-finals, no less, against the Lions of Terenga. Molebye Kwaso only makes one change to his squad. Hilary Mukundani is suspended, so Arnold Odong gets to get into the starting lineup here tonight as they welcome Joel Serunjoji into that midfield, who missed out on the last encounter, having picked up a suspension. A lot of eyes will be on shot number 21, Alan Okello, with plenty of attacking outlets available here for the Uganda Cranes. Molebye Kwaso found his team and does very little to tweak around with it. A similarity he does share a lot with Souleymane Diallo of Senegal. Last couple of matches that the Lions of Terenga have been involved in, he's done very little to change, chip and chess the team about. It's largely business as usual. Souleymane Diallo. Center referee for tonight is Mahmoud Ahmed Nagimosa, all the way from Egypt. Was the center referee when the DRC beat Angola 2-0 at the Moi International Sports Center in Kasarani. Gentleman that became international in 2022 and will be assisted here by Adel Abani, Gailen Ngila, as well as the VAR room that will have Lalui, Benraham and Zenith Makalima. We also do have an extra in Letitia Vian from Switzerland. Senegal forced into two changes here as Sebene steps out to make way for the captain tonight, Sis, who starts in number 15. While there will be no place here for Mbaye Yaya Lyle, who picked up 2 yellow cards, and in his place will be Fonteka, that starts in the deep holding role, and be expected to anchor the midfield of the Lions of Terenga. Molebye Kwaso knows that right now they do have mammoth task just after delivering the Ugandans to the promised land. Once again, he and his charges, led by Okello here, must find a way to once again surmount the odds. They take on the Lions of Terenga, who finished second in Group D, 5 points and conceded just 1 goal. Souleymane Diallo knows that their element is defensive steel at the back. Senegal scored 2 goals in the tournament so far, conceded once in the last 3 games, and they are yet to score nor concede against a host nation in their run in the African Nations Championship. Team that carries 6 clean sheets into this game. The 7 games that they have actually played, 7-game unbeaten streak. You have to believe that Senegal will walk into here the firm favorites. However, with the home crowd behind them, will the Cranes make magic? We're underway at the Nelson Mandela Stadium in yellow and black. The Uganda Cranes in white, all out, looking immaculate. The Lions of Terenga from Senegal. Just Orach, now Regan Pandey here, who fears that he might have had a knock in the last game, but just bounced back right in time. Able to play in the game here as Halatachai set to deliver the throw. Achai out on the flank, well able to keep that in his possession, and that just rolls out here for throw in. Dauda. Long throw. Ball is averted, headed back in. Bit of a slippery surface, as normally is at the beginning of the game. Picked up here by Fonseca. For the defense, Mbaye Ndiaye. Oh, it's a long searching ball, only to Roger Storach. The returning Joel Serunjoji spreading it out to the flank. Cranes getting into an easy passing rhythm. Team that doesn't tend to get a lot of possession, on the evidence of their last 3 games. Always trailed as far as possession is concerned, but somehow managing to make quick clinical counterattacks count for them. The attack. This is Papis Badji. Loses possession. Easily cut out by the Cranes, and a long ball clearing the lines. Returning possession back to the Lions of Terenga. Torach. That's the line clear. Looking to pick that up in the midfield. Ball not settling down well enough for anyone. Alan Okello tries to get onto that ball. Both teams playing in tiny pockets of space. Eventually, the Cranes come out tops in that challenge. Arnold Odong played his very first game for the Uganda Cranes recently, about 3 weeks ago, in the Tri-Nations tournament for Sekafa, and scored his goal on a debut against none less than the team they face off with now, the Lions of Terenga, Senegal. Ba through the center. Pape. Abase Badji dropping constantly deep to create an extra man in the midfield. Now this is Gaye. Libase Gaye cuts in, takes the shot from distance. Warning bells already ringing here, but Joe Mutakuwa was right on the mark to make sure that gets not past him. Well, the warnings have already been sounded here. Libase drifting in brilliantly, just gliding in, getting onto his favored left foot before letting it fly. That's a corner. Corner in the first 3 minutes here for Senegal. It's Libase Gaye to deliver this one. There's always a couple of scuffles in that box area. A lot of attention paid to Christian Gomez as a long ball is brought in, thwarted clear by Rogers Torach, skipper here for the Uganda Cranes. Another one who endeared himself to the nation with a magnificent penalty in the dying embers of the game against South Africa that earned the Cranes a draw, permitted them to continue to the quarterfinals at the expense of the Southern African nation. Out of the flank by Jose Joseph Ifra. Is it back to Baye Liaye Sieni. Through the center, looking for Moussa Cissé. They lose possession. Jude Semugabi pops that up. Jude Semugabi just trying to get the ball forward. Eventually cut out here by two-man sandwich job by the Lions of Terenga. Asane Sis. This is to Rodaba. Queens pressing hard. Well, it was imperative right from the onset that they would need to play a high-pressing game against Senegal. Serun Joji taking his time here for Arnold Odong. Look to get Job shifted in. Arnold Odong. Rogers Torach. Crowd already chanting Ole. There's a foul here and it's a free kick. Midfield enforcer of the Uganda Cranes, silent as they come, Abdul Karim Watambala. Many a times one of the unsung heroes in this game. Continues to prowl and patrol that midfield and marshal it up, but for the moment he's down for the count. You see the medics rushing in as we get another sight here of the early attempt by Gaye. Drifting in, warning signs to Habatachai. Very, very encouraging signs here for the Lions of Terenga. Senegal went an entire tournament, the African Nations Championship in 2022, all the way to the final and picked up the crown with one single loss in the entire tournament. That loss came at the hands of the team they face off with right here, right now, the Uganda Cranes. 1-0 it was. Most recently, they faced off in Tanzania 3 weeks ago. That was ahead of this tournament in the Sekafa Tri-Nations tournament. And again, the Cranes got the better of them, beating them by 2-1. Will it be third time lightning striking for the Cranes? Face off with Senegal, who are on a 7-game unbeaten run, 4 wins, 3 draws, as we get another look at the incident that led to current medical break that was afforded to Abdul Karim Watambala. Looks like he'll be able to get back onto the pitch in just a bit. There's another player who seems a little dazed. By Ndiaye. A bit of a coming together earlier, but there's a free kick for the Cranes. Both teams momentarily down to 10 men. Ndiaye exits the pitch, as did Abdul Karim Watambala. Free kick, Alan Okello. Chance to get bodies into that box. Senegal, they'll have to keep a tight, neat ship. They do just that, averting the danger, clearing the ball away. Skipper Baye Asane Sis, who missed out because of an injury in the last game that they played, was well enough to get to the pitch to start this one. Cranes hustling up on possession. Long searching ball, looking for the Willie Regan Pande. Brings it under control. Pande drifts inward. Enoch Sebagala tries to dribble past one man. Sebagala still has possession. Abdul Karim Watambala back on the pitch. Sets a through pass, but a little too much behind that. That goes nothing more than a goal kick. High octane stuff. There'll be no room for error. For Senegal, they know a win would make them the only second defending champions to reach the semi-finals. The only other team that's been able to pull that off is Morocco. Morocco themselves stamped their ticket into the semi-finals, dumping out Tanzania. What turned out to be a cold, cold night at the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium. Earlier, Kenya had to weather 120 minutes only for it to all come apart in the penalties. The second host nation also was ejected by Madagascar. And now, the only host left, Uganda, still goalless after 9 minutes. Throwing. Dodaba. That ball was on point, but the follow-up didn't really have much intent behind it. Moussa Cissé, man that does ply his trade here for Generation Foot in Senegal. One of the few players who's managed to play all 3 games so far coming into this game. 270 minutes under his belt. Souleymane Diallo, not one who changes a lot, as a chance comes up here for Regan Pande, trying to drift into the box area. Support a little low or slow at coming up, but eventually it appears Jude Semugabi whipping in the cross, looking for Alan Okello. No touch, ball goes over the line. It's a throw in for Uganda. Jude Semugabi, maverick at the front. It's a long ball, weaved in, slight header. Coming off the head of Abdul Karim Watambala, not with any power behind it. Jude Semugabi, well, according to the lineup, is supposed to be a center forward, but he's one gifted with the ability to play all across the front 3 positions. We'll be no surprise to constantly see him drifting left and right and deep in positions. It's going to give quite a bit of a headache to the central defenders of the Lions of Terenga to keep pace with him. Searching ball, looking for Omar Ba. Having to cut that out quick. Patrick Kakande gets to start on the bench of this one. He did score against Senegal in that friendly in Tanzania that we talked about earlier on. There was a penalty though. Heavy overcast skies, clouds making it some excellent weather. Football, long ball, nodded in. Not a child player taken out. Referee will pull that back here for a free kick. Coming together with the diminutive but totally combative defensive midfield enforcer, Joe Serunjoji. Well, that's a very small frame, but that shouldn't fool you for the fight that he packs. Managed to score a goal in the last game that he played. Big battle here to retain possession from Libase Gaye. Loses out. Habatachai drifting forward. Goes on a romping run of his own. Uganda committing numbers forward. Regan Pandey realizing being cut out. Spreading the ball back to the defense. Torach through the center for Alan Okello. Okello, who's looking out on the flank, drawing in the numbers. Tries to chip the ball forward for Jude Semugabi. Semugabi to Abdul Karim Watambala. Just playing in a very, very small space, losing out on possession. Now it's a chance to counter for the Lions of Terenga on the prowl. Libase Gaye. It's a long ball forward to chase Moussa Sisse. Arnold Odong will simply let that roll out. The AC Villa defender. Well, restricting Moussa Sisse to a run with no fruit. Joe Mutakubwa managed to keep 2 clean sheets back to back against Niger and Guinea. Ugandans taking their time to set themselves in formation. Mutakubwa launches a long searching ball towards the final third. Well collected by Regan Pandey now. Pandey, Alan Okello wants the ball out in the flank. Serunjoji picks it up fast. Serunjoji, a nudge here, still retains possession. Arnold Odong wants to play it safe back to Mutakubwa. Joe Mutakubwa seeking out Okello, only finds Joseph Laeose. The Ugandans have the possession once again, and now it's to Regan Pandey. It's been their outlet so far. Pandey, trickster, turns inside out, and out the cross is on. Oh, that's a touch too heavy. Slightly higher than would have been comfortable for Jude Semugabi. Craig once again on the ball. Good pick up from Mark Phillips. Diouf, goalkeeper here for Senegal. Torach to draw in the attackers here. Senegal still sticking with the age-old formation of 4-4-2. It's worked well for them. Keeping 2 players up front in Pape Abase Badji and Christian Gomez. And giving something to Torach and Arnold Odong to keep thinking about. So rare are these sites that the Uganda Cranes has the lion's share of possession. 64.1. 35.9 for Senegal. Skirmishes of shots there. Uganda with 2, Senegal with 1. Senegal's on target. Uganda yet to find one. Biaye spreading the ball through the center. Into twist and turn. Fonseca. Ventura sets a long ball looking for Omar. Omar Ba brings it under control here, taking on Gavin. Omar Ba manages to glide past his marker. This could be a good opportunity. Christian Gomez had a chance, chested that ball, unable to retain his right footing. Danger thwarted momentarily here by the Cranes. The Lions still in possession. Gomez This is Fonseca. They're going to the ground. The Cranes pick it up. Jude Semugabi looks to get it into ascendance, slipping it to Alan Okello on the right. He's easily cut out here by Mbaye Ndiaye. Sieni Mbaye keeping a tight leash on Alan Okello. Must have done their prep. They know that he is the playmaker in chief. Tends to be right at the heart of everything offensive. Okello scored 3 goals in 3 straight matches, becomes the first Ugandan to do so in the African Nations Championships. The only other Ugandan who managed to score at least 3 is on the bench. That was way back in 2014, Yunus Junior Sentamu. Torach. Searching. Well controlled by Jude Semugabi. Okello with a dainty touch here from Gavin. Now to Semugabi. Tries the cross. Thwarted. Ndiaye putting his discipline facet to good use. Keeps a tight lead on everything as Senegal look to make the turnover. There's a free kick here. Foul by Alan Okello. Gavin wanted to step in quick. Venter Fonseca, man that plays in US Occam Dakar. Managed to step in here for the suspended Mbaye Yaya Lai, who picked up a second yellow card at the very tail end of their last group stage game. It's a foul and a free kick. Gavin Chizito Mugweri pleads his innocence. Omar Ba stays on the ground, seems to have taken a bit of a nudge to the sternum. A bit uncomfortable there. Well, didn't look like there was much in it. Referee, right place, sporting that and awards a free kick. Motakubwa has had his moments. Some games he's been absolutely unplayable. In others, well, the less said about it, the better. Quick free kick. Cut out. That's a throw-in. And Sebagala, another tireless player. Probably one with the most meticulous touches on Uganda Cranes starting 11. So Senegal began to ramp up the pressure. Souleymane Diallo ready on his feet, urging the team to rouse themselves to the occasion. Foul here. Referee says there was a handball there by Pape Abase Badji, and it's a free kick in favor of the Cranes. 19 minutes, fast approaching 20, and still goalless here. We point out earlier, Cranes having 67.5% possession in the first 15 minutes of the game. Back to the goalkeeper. Phillips Aruna Diouf. Maya Sane squares it through the center, unable to get to intended target. Cranes pick it up. Abdul Karim Watambala, Jude Semugabi, Regan Pande, the willing recipient, looks to flash it out across, but that wasn't well worked. Alan Okello indicating that the ball should have come to him. Mole Biekwaso, well, not pleased with that delivery from Regan Pande. It's again ruthless emphasis of pressing coming in from Watambala, fashioning out the chance. The fans thought for a moment they could have gotten themselves on the front foot. Just wasn't to be. Omar asking a little too much here of Badji. Spoke of just how much they know is riding on this matchup in the press conference leading up to this game. Echoing the coach's respect of their opponents, but by no means intimidated. Now on the attack, pocket picked. The Cranes turn over the possession. Joe Matakuwa. Which is a long searching ball. That's averted. Possession succeeded once again to the Cranes. Lose it in quick succession as well. Rogers Storach stepping in to clear the mess. Tries to get the Cranes on the front foot. Bouncing ball. That ball is missed. Regan Bande will fashion out a shot. The ball goes out for a corner. Ooh, this is not the place to make such mistakes. They'll be very, very fortunate. Adona Bar is not punished for that incident. Went for the clearance, cleanly missed that, but had just enough presence of mind to keep track. One of the questions here is Pande seems to signal that there might have been contact with the hand. I highly doubt that. How do you do? It was a clean as they come tackle from Bae Asane Sis to put that into the corner. The fans clamoring for VAR. The Cranes been big beneficiaries of the video assistant referees' decisions. A stack of penalties have definitely come their way. Arnold Odong with the header, who goes away. A timely return here for the skipper. In a very decent shift, Sis. And that does ply his trade for Tangweth FC back in Senegal. Mark Phillips, Diouf, Sis, to the center, Fonseca. Sis in possession, plays it for Moussa Cissé. By Ndiaye, Lions of Terenga. The 12th man ramping up the noise and trying to put more pressure on Senegal. That's a fall-on pass from Fonseca. Watambala. Through pass, looking for Jude Semugari, cut out well. Steady defending. Very solid defense here, Senegal. Conceded about 2 goals in their last 9 games in open play. Very, very solid unit that they are. It's a free kick for Senegal. Started off quick. Back to the goalkeeper, Mark Phillips Diouf. Been at this particular stage, Senegal, before. Last year it was, or in the last edition, it was against Mauritania. Managed to win that by 1-0 in 2022. It's the Cranes that they face off with this time. Chance for a throw-in. Dauda. 25 minutes. Very cagey affairs expected of a quarter-final. Searching ball, header, managed to find its way here. There's appeals for a corner from Christian Gomez. The attacker from Samaye FC in Senegal. And the referee does oblige, and it's a corner kick for the Lions of Terenga. Final touch, rightly so, coming off the body of Rogers Storach. Not so sure what he was protesting there. Corner to the near post, hacked clear by Jude Semugabi. That's what you want to see from your forwards, putting in decent defensive shift. Last line of defense, as they tend to call it. Bachi, Fonseca. Dauda loses possession. It's could be a good chance for the Cranes to spring a counter-attack. Regan Pandey was a little lethargic there in his approach. There's been a bit of pulling and tugging here. Mahmoud Musa quick to remind both players to rein it in. Pandey, for a moment, thought he had a lot of space and time, forgetting that Dauda is equally fleet-footed, blessed with bags of speed. It's going to be an interesting battle for the next couple of minutes between those two. Christian Gomez scored in their first game, 75th minute. Senegal established a pattern for themselves in the last couple of games that they've played. They tend to score in the final 15 minutes of the game. Jude Semugabi is now romping forward. Jude Semugabi, touch. Well, didn't have quite the verve behind it. That's enough to excite the fans in the stands. Call it whetting the appetite. The referee signals a foul here from Libase Gaye on Habatachai. It's a free kick for the Uganda Cranes. Tried to lay that in the path of the oncoming attackers of the Cranes, but the touch not pristine enough. Free kick, seeking Alan Okello, the little magician. Now to Enoch Sebagala. Has support from Gavin Chizito. Tries a whipped cross. Senegal alert to the tactic and managed to cut that out quite quickly. Point here for the Cranes. Establish dominance in play by NDI. Out to the flank for Musa Sisse. Asane Sis. That came with a little more verve than would have been preferred by Omar. Talk about taking their time. This time, yeah. Big battle coming out with the ball and now looking to get themselves onto the front foot. Fonseca getting in on to Laius. Turns the ball in, taking more chances. Arnold Odong. Momotakuwa urging him to heed his word. Goalkeeper and defender both coming for that ball. Arnold Odong, well, chose to take no chances and hacked that ball clear. Short corner attempted, but quickly lost out here. Joseph Laius, the man that scored that equalizer against Congo Brazzaville in their second game in the tournament. Right when everybody thought it was almost done, 86th minute. He does have a passion for making those runs forward and making an impact where necessary. Goal kick. Not much to write home about just as yet. These are the quarterfinals. Every single moment counts. Pandey battles for mastering that midfield. Referee says little undue aggression from Musa Sisse. The Cranes need to start that quick, and the referee just making it very clear to Musa he's in the last chance saloon before his misdemeanors will earn him a booking. Serun Joji plays it to Tarach. Gavin. Back to Gavin Chizito. Abdul Karim Watambala. Enoch Sebagala. Alan Okello drifting out on the flank. Doesn't have much support, but will he need it? The little magician plays it back to Abdul Karim Watambala, who lets it fly. Well, he has a penchant for pile drivers, can pack a cannon of a shot here. Watambala Yet to find the mark in this tournament. For the faithfuls that tend to throng the St. Mary's Stadium in Chitende, they do know he tends to pop up with an explosive goal or two here and there. Good pass. Interception. Jude Semugabi. Judged for a body charge on Christian Gomez. That's a free kick. Actually, Arnold Odong, who now has a bit of a discussion with the referee. "34 minutes. The Cranes now have to man the barricades. 8 goals they've scored so far in this tournament, which is their best ever tally. Managing just 8, and they've conceded 6 goals. Ironically, the 6 goals were in 2 games, so conceding, when they do, 3 each time. Free kick, popped in. Matakuba will pluck that. Well, it seemed pretty simple, but had to take 2 touches of it to bring it under control. That's a foul from Enoch Sebagala. So Matakuba having his second save of the game. Just making sure he got to that in time, and prevented by Asane Ses from returning to the game with a goal to his name. Senegal are facing an East African opponent for the 5th time. Played 4 games so far, winning 2, drawing 1, and losing once. Interestingly, they have not scored in their last 2 such meetings with an East African opponent. Now for the Cranes, it's their 9th match against a West African opponent. 8 games they've played, 4 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses, and they've won 3 of their last 4 such encounters against West African teams, including 2 in Niger and Guinea, most recently in this edition of the African Nations Championship. 36 minutes on the clock, still goalless at the Nelson Mandela Stadium. Seems to be a pattern here, as we are yet to see a goal in the opening 45 minutes of the quarter-finals of this year's edition of the CHAN tournament. Cranes still on the superior hand as far as possession is concerned, as they seem to also be in the front foot when it comes to fouling. Long ball. Ball just brushed off. Let's throw in the final third for the Cranes against the Lions of Terenga. Good pickup. Okay, to flick that, keep that in his possession, but maybe thought he had more time and space. Jose Unjoji, midfielder for the Kampala Capital City Authority Football Club, popularly known here as KCCA-FC. Referee Hamoud Mosa just checking up on the players and making sure everything is spick and span. He was the referee for the under-20 finals, where Senegal beat Gambia in Egypt by 2-0 to lift that trophy. He's the center referee here now. Semugabi looks to intercept, and the Cranes are beneficiaries of his tenacity. Alan Okello has support and picks out Regan Mpande on the left. Mpande, Regan, will he make the shot? He does. Well closed down. The Cranes retrieve possession. Habatachai looks to go in the accelerated mode. Crosses in. Ball averted, headed away. Good play from Joseph Layus. Back heel from Okello. Watambala, edge of the box area. Gavin Chizuto joins into the fray. Watambala. 6 Serunjoji. The Cranes spreading the ball out and recycling possession. Serunjoji. And Watambala just timing his place, picks his mark. Watambala twists, steps away from a challenge. Back for Torach. Cranes committing numbers forward. Now picked up on a shot from SENEGAL, well smothered out. And Christian Gomez could set the Lions of Terenga on the front foot. Well, that's a foul, according to the assistant referee, and a yellow card here for Neighbors.CHAN. He acknowledges that that was a professional foul. Acknowledges the yellow card from the referee. Totally had Senegal on the front foot, looking to turn a counter-attack in. So the first booking of the game goes to Neighbors.CHAN. Interesting reactions here from the stands. Neighbors.CHAN picking up his first yellow card of the tournament. So, overall, very clean player normally. 45% of the action has been in Senegal's third over the last 15 minutes or so of play. Need to find a way to get themselves out of their own backyard and try to get onto more of the front foot. Five minutes left to play in this half. Tambala on the attack, gets it on to Jude Semugari. Semugari Jude in possession. What can he come up with? Looking for Regan Pande. Weren't singing off the same songbook. Joseph Laose opts to play that back to the defense. Ponteka. Mbaye Ndiaye. The skipper, Sis. Douda Bar. Back to Asane Sis. Asane. Siani Mbaye Ndiaye. Omaba out on the flank as support. Senegal now looking to rack up a bit of the figures. As far as possession is concerned, long searching ball, attempt to keep it in play by Lebase Gaye. No, not proving quite fruitful. Had the first genuine opportunity of attack here for the Lions of Terenga much earlier in the game. Since then, it's not been a lot that we've seen from him, largely starved of possession. And it's Senegal having to do more of the defending than the attacking. Pande, Okello unable to control, and Semugari stays on the ground, clutching his thigh. It seems to be in throes of pain, waves of agony just washing over his face. Bala seems to protest that there should have been some remonstration for that particular incident. I didn't see much in it. They were coming together. Regan Pande had the opportunity, tried to play that into space for Alan Okello. Just could not connect with the little magician. The Cranes scored 8 goals so far in this tournament. Interestingly, 5 of those goals, the bulk of their goals, have come in the first half, and 3 have come in the second half. Well, they are yet to score here, and if the stats are anything to go by, they've conceded 6 goals, 5 of those coming in the second half. A half where Senegal have been proficient, as all their goals have come in the final 15 minutes of their games. Jude Semugari. At the moment, it does require a stretcher to get him off. That would be a big blow. He's been a real live wire here for the Cranes in the first 40 or so minutes of play. That would necessitate that the Cranes might have to make a few adjustments to the playing staff. Kande and Sama Arafat already warming up. Another player who could come on is Yunus Junior Center, most played a periphery role. And here's the man who's constantly found goals every time he's been thrown on, Ivan Ahimbisibwe, the hunter. Well, Elvis Ngonde is an option in that midfield if need be. Definitely the one that they would throw in to beef up that midfield. Doesn't look like being needed. Senegal is stretched off. Decision time for Mole Biekwaso and the rest of his technical team. It doesn't look like he'll return as Suleimane Diallo looks on to the proceedings on the pitch. And there's a substitution. The hunter will be called into the fray. Ivan Ahimbisibwe trots in 2 goals to his name. Having come off the bench, this time will get an earlier cameo than he normally does get. But in the meantime, Abdul Karim Watambala getting onto the ball, trying to drive that forward. And that foul results in a yellow card. Yellow card brandished as the referee will take a name to the book. A little undue aggression to Moussa Sissé. Had already gotten a warning earlier on that he was in a last chance saloon. The referee runs out of patience with him this time. Confirmation, there will be no less than 3 minutes of time added. No less than 3 minutes of time added in the first half. As that substitution is now effected. Ivan Ahimbisibwe, the newly signed KCCA Football Club striker, will take to the pitch as it's a painful end to Jude Semugabi's service to the nation for tonight. Free kick. Promising area. Alan Okello, plenty of decisions to make. Has the technique to try and work the goalkeeper from this distance, but maybe better served trying to cross that ball. Okello goes for the goalkeeper. Easy peasy. Simple save. Now, both teams were at their lowest ebb. Uganda's total shot conversion is 22.86. While coming into this game, Senegal's was at 11.76. In total, among all the 8 nations that made it to the quarterfinals, these two have had the lowest tally when it comes to shot conversion. Christian Gomis going to the ground way too easily. Seems to think that he was fouled in that incident. Protests are rising. Well, we have another look at the incident. Ododong, did he trip him? Was there enough contact? Well, that's one you definitely would have to leave for the officials to determine. For the moment, Christian Gomis still seems to be in quite a bit of pain here. Tail end of matchup. Was contact there between Odong and Gomis. Is it enough to warrant a penalty? The video assistant referee is checking the incident. Doesn't look like the referee is convinced. The check is complete. Doesn't look like Gomis is very convinced with the outcome. Having a bit of back and forth tete-a-tete with Arnold Odong. Just have another look at that incident from this angle. From this angle, could have looked like there was a bit in it in the appeal from Gomis. Nonetheless, an intense scrutineering of the moment from the video assistant referee designates nothing more to it. 3 minutes and 30 seconds of the 3 that were added in extra time. And right on cue, the referee brings the first 45 minutes to a close. As it has been in the rest of the quarterfinals, still no goals to write about. And it will now become a straight showdown in the next 45. Pending as it's Uganda 0, Senegal 0, right here at the Nelson Mandela Stadium in the quarterfinals of the African Nations Championship. Well, what do the numbers look like? Uganda, for the very first time in this tournament, indulging the lion's share of possession, 52-48, and they've had more of the shots, but they both had 2 on target, with Senegal's posing more of the threat in the game twice, or once at least, having forced Joe Mutakuwa into a fine stop. There have already been a huge number of fouls. Uganda with 7-6 for Senegal. One of those resulting in Jude Semugabi getting stretchered off the pitch. And both teams have picked up a yellow card each at halftime, with the scoreline still goalless. It's done. Well, it's jubilation and joy as we welcome you back to the Mandela National Stadium. Jermaine Egesa is your commentator out here in what is turning to be Party Central, Kampala, Uganda. The Pamoja bid, well, is united at least on one front, and that is in joy and happiness, in cheer, in hospitality. This is how we live life in East Africa. True definition of the phrase, Hakuna Matata. The referee for the moment will let the fanfare continue as the two teams huddle up on the pitch and the fans continue to have a jolly good time in serious business of high stakes in the next couple of seconds. Decked in country colors. They'll be out here looking to make an impact on this particular one. Second half set to get underway, as seen from above the Nelson Mandela Stadium, a stadium where that man made his mark. Geoffrey Massa, currently the team manager of the Cranes, and Morebi Ekwaso, who also played for the Cranes, and he's the man that will now fondly be remembered for masterminding the Cranes' ability to, well, qualify from the group stages. He has another 45 minutes to conjure up some enchantments and weave the Cranes into the next round. There'll be an earlier substitution here from Senegal, a change at halftime, as Mokta Koite Serene is set to be brought in. Second half gets underway before he gets to lace his boots onto the pitch. Quick restart here from Senegal. To the center of the park, there'll be an attempt for a shot from distance. So trying to figure out if the mark of Joe Mutakuwa is in sport. Moussa Sisse not quite able to get that ball there. Sisse already on a yellow card for a tactical foul, just like Habatachai. The 2 cards in the game so far. Mark Phillips, Aruna Diop, Mae Ndiaye, Joseph Layose looks for the return ball, just doesn't come well enough, and then there's an equally hard pass intended for Alan Okello, but that was overcooked, as would be the phrase here. Just goes over the line for a throw in. 45 more minutes. Or extra time beyond if need be. And Abdul Karim Watambala wants to settle the mark here. Regan Pandey drifts into the box area. Ghosts in and forgets the ball in his rear view. Watambala. Sebagala. Odong Arnold. On to Rogers Torach Okachi. It's a long searching ball. Ball is well intercepted now, looking to pick the mark, and that's a foul on Omar Ba. Enoch Sebagala. One of those very clean players, Enoch Sebagala, with a very, very pristine fast touch. Not this time. The referees managed to clock him there for that foul. Mark Philip Diouf. Biaye. Long searching ball forward, looking for Christian Gomez. Only finds Enoch Sebagala. Right back to Joe Motakubwa. And that hails. That plies his trade in the eastern part of the nation, Uganda. Right where the source of the Nile is, plays for Uganda Limited, or better known as Bull Football Club. It's a foul, free kick. Sorry, pointing to an earlier incident. Rogers Torach, one of the beneficiaries here. A play taken a few moments back for an earlier infringement on play. Ball is nudged out. Both teams here looking a little cagey, a little more cagey than they were in the first 45 minutes, but perhaps understandably so. These 45 minutes are do or die. This was a poker table. This is where you go for broke. It's all in or all out. And unlike Vegas, where what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, well, this is the African Nations Championship. All that happens here will be broadcast for the world to see. Torach. It's a foul and it's a free kick. Very calm figure out there on the touchline of Uganda Cranes technical area. A bit of anxiety could be read from the faces of the fans. Ball is picked up here by Sebagala. Looks up and sees an on-rushing Regan Pandey. Well cut out. Ivan Ahimisiwe keeps the move alive. Now to Pandey. Pandey measures the cross, looking for Watambala. Ball is cut away. Good defending from the Lions of Terenga. Ukrainians pick up possession once again. How about Achai? Accelerates. Achai still in possession. Has support on the outside from Pandey. Looks up for the cross. Once again, ousted. This is top-notch defending from Baye Asane Sis. Cranes flexing their offensive muscle here. That ball is lost out here. Poor pass. A chance to now streak forward for Omar Ba. Omar in possession. Cut out well by Rogers Torach. Puts the ball away, but Senegal unable to do much to retain possession here. Watambala. Glancing around for Habatachai. Dainty little feet forward for Achai. Gets it on from Pandey. The cross is in! Well, that could have very easily gone the wrong side of the post. And the Cranes fans know it. Sianim Baye Ndiaye coming face to face with every defender's worst nightmare. A goal is pain. A goal from your own boot is absolute hell. Regan Pandey athletically stretching out to cross that in. He had to make his decision in a split second. Ivan Ahimisiwe was breathing down his neck as the corner is whipped in. Manages to avert the danger there with a powerful clearance from the head. Shot from distance. Well blocked. Calmness now plays it to Watambala. Back to Seronjoji. Torach. venture forward, thinks twice about it and plays it back to Torach. Looks to spread it out to the right. Intended target was Gavin Kizito. It's a nice brush off from Umaba. Allow the goalkeeper to pick that up. Able to find Gavin Kizito. Actually started out life as a centre back. Also had some stints in the defensive midfield. Looks like he's finally settled into his position as a right back. Logan Mpande. Achai Habat. Back to Mpande. Hugging that line for width and trying to stretch out the Senegalese defense. Now behind the throw-in. Pick up is good. Arnold Odom. Torach. Once again, aims a long ball. Looking for Mpande. He's consistently the target here. Now Senegal keeping two with him every single time. Okello gets onto the ball. Tiny pockets of space. Mpande still wrestles the ball from the grasp over Lions of Terenga. Good pass coming in from Gavin. Frees up Enoch Seragala. Keeps the ball alive. Seragala tries to drift back his marker. They only have a corner to show for it. Much to the appreciation of the fans of the Cranes. This is more encouraging from the home side, from the hosts. They're trying to get themselves into more offensive positions right now. Expectant pack of fans here, anticipating. Zalan Okello set to deliver the corner. Okello was for the middle of the park, and that's headed away once again. Mai Liaye made himself a real citadel here. Just no breaching his mark. That is in spite of the fact that he suffered a head injury earlier on in the game. Okello with take two. That ball drifts, goes to the ground, appeals for penalty. The referee has no thought about it. By Asane Sis. So we have another look here. Ball brushed off everybody. It looked like it was Christian Gomis that might have had a coming together. That was a well-chested down ball. No penalty at all there. And well cleared away by Baye Asane Sis. Desperate ball, but still lands clean at the feet of Regan Mpande. Glances up to see who's available to support. The Cranes lose possession. Fonseca. The counter-attack now. The Lions of Terenga, they do have numbers streaking forward. Now accelerating, and Odom left in his wake, but good pickup from Joel Seronjoji. That was a little naive from the AC Villa defender. Fortunately, no pain to that as Regan Mpande, another one from Villa, sets it up here for Alan Okello. Edge of the box area, slide ruler pass. And well intercepted by Joseph Laose. They are knocking at the door. They're hammering at the gates. They're battering at the fences. The Cranes are baying for that goal, and Senegal are holding fort. Another corner. At the moment, Uganda have attempted 17 crosses in this match, which is higher than their average of 16 so far in this tournament. Still going strong here. Alan Okello with another delivery to the chance of Olay from the fans in the stands. Could this be the moment? The anticipation is sky high. 55 minutes played, still goalless. That substitution, that is still pending. Souleymane Diallo will let the set piece play out fast. Weaved in, averted instantly. Didn't have a chance to play it in again as Enoch Seragala shuffles his feet to get it back to Okello. He tries a cross, but that will not be one of his better attempts. Instruction pretty clear from Souleymane Diallo. Calm the pace down, calm the game down. Might be in for a slew of changes. If what is on the bench is anything to go by from Senegal, might have 3 substitutes, or as many as 3 substitutes in just a bit. Doda, Serunjoji, once again in ascendance. Pande tries another cross. Looks like this time he was thwarted well by the defense. Mark Phillips, Aruna Diop finding himself in quite a bit of action back-to-back in the first couple of minutes of the second half. The Cranes pick up possession once again. Watambala, Ivan Ahimbisibwe, Regan Pande, the tormentor in chief. Teasing, tries to get that ball back. That sliding challenge there from Christian Gomez will only put that out here for a throw-in. Very anxious faces. Game still very much in a deadlock. Neither team able to get the upper hand just as yet. Okello getting a little bit more inspired and a little more influential on the proceedings in the second half. And as promised, a triple substitution. Quite a couple of changes here anticipated. Man on the picture, Issa Kane, plays for Casa Sport in Senegal. Set to be thrown into the fray, a midfielder to impact on the game. She'll also have Vix Cisse also introduced into the game, and it's the end of the game for Bonaventura Fonseca. Be the first man that will be sacrificed here by the Lions of Terenga. There's a chance here for the rest of the players on the field to hydrate. Christian Gomez is the other player that will get to exit the game as well. Christian Gomez, another player that comes off. And the final player is Pape Abase Badji coming off. So a slew of changes, all of them attack-minded, all of them looking to get forward, but quite a bit of preference for more numbers in that midfield. One of those substitutes is the man Mokta Koite. Played that game against the Cranes in Tanzania. That was the Sekafa Tri-Nations tournament. Managed to score the solitary goal for Senegal late in that game. 88th minute it was. Will he turn it on once again here for the Cranes, where it really matters? Abdul Karim Watambala. Meets the head of Habatachai. And once again to the foot of Regan Pande. Spreads it out. Support here from Sebagala. Through the center, Watambala. Gets Gavin into the game. That's that roll for Alan Okello. And the attack, Serunjoji. Pretty advanced. Gavin tries to get the ball back to Okello. There's a bit of a coming together. And a tumble of players to the ground. That's a free kick. Basse Gaye, he had 4 completed passes in the first 45 minutes. Well, he was a shining luminary in the early proceedings, but since then, he trailed off as this Monde seems to be in a very animated conversation out on the bench. 1 hour of action done. We're down to the final 30 minutes of the 90 to be played. Gavin tries to kick the ball. Racing to try and kick the ball within the confines of play, but asking a little too much from himself. Nonetheless, it's pretty interesting to see that he's willing to try. Trying to get to Koita. We lose possession. Ball taken away. Twisting one way or the other. And this is Gaye. Fashions out across, and the ball lands beautifully. Chance here, shot in! And it's the defending champions that draw first blood right here at the Nelson Mandela Stadium. Nyonfa for Senegal against the run of play, against the odds for the moment. They silence the Nelson Mandela Stadium. Disbelief from Joe Mutakumwa. Well, there will be no cheers right here for the Cranes. And it's a chance to get into the dance, for they could be waltzing their way to the semi-finals. Slip up and a quick acceleration of pace. Libase Gaye, the orchestrator in chief. And when the ball landed flush, no mistake from Omar Ba. Angles that brilliantly with surgical precision. Bottom corner, goalkeepers always hate that. And that just might be the moment that puts the Lions of Terenga with 1 foot towards the semi-finals. Uganda 0, Senegal 1. What a way to bring themselves into the game. What a way to say Dalen Akdiam was Senegal. Brilliant stuff from Umar Ba. They have thrown the first blow and now handed Uganda the gauntlet if they dare. Cranes now have to figure a way back into this game. No strangers from doing that. Their last game against South Africa had to come from a 3-1 deficit to level the tie, and that was in 6 minutes. That's an outstretched arm. The referee will brandish a card here. It's a yellow card against Roger Storage. Substitutions have definitely brought a new surge of life into the defending champions, looking more aggressive, more potent with every attack. Now that defense of Uganda seems to be a little bit of disbelief. Yellow card for Roger Storage. Libase Gaye assisting his first goal in the African Cup of Nations, that is in the African Nations Championships. It was an outstretched elbow, could have been worse. Poor play there from the Ugandan skipper. Who have their backs against the wall, now must more than ever put their full weights to creating opportunities to get back into this game. Free kick here for Senegal. Launched long to the far end for Baye Asane Sis. Just couldn't get to that in time. Skipper had a very tremendous contribution in the defense. Earlier on, Christian Gomis gave a good go at it. Substituted. Now the goal has come. Might be just the possibility that he could feature again in this tournament. Not if the Cranes have something to say about it. Alan Okello getting onto the ball. Sport is a little slow to arrive. The Cranes retain possession. Achai. Mpande gets onto the ball. Cranes need to work double time. Cross coming in. Fooled almost everyone except the goalkeeper. Just stayed with his wits about him. Mark Phillips Diouf managed to stretch out and palm that away. The searching ball as there's a player now on the ground. And that's Cisse, and that's another yellow card brandished. The Cranes need to keep themselves in check. Enoch Selagala, the latest to go into the referee's little book. Now the Cranes will be walking on thin ice. They are trailing on goals. Now they do have quite a number of the players already taken note of by the referee. Headed away by Gavin from the restart. Zito. Tambala. Sebagala. It's a hefty clearance from Torach. Looking for Himbisiwe. All averted. Senegal committing numbers to that defense and now looking to counter. It's a good touch coming in from the Cranes. Watambala scans for options. Gets Habat Achai. Achai with a shot from distance. He was scrambling there. So for the moment stays poised in his seat. Joel Serunjoji has gone into warrior mode. They need to find a way to fight back into this game. Corner kick, Alan Okello whips it in for the far post. Anolodong, that's not on target. Similar shades of goals scored in Tanzania against Senegal. Was from a set piece, that time using the boot to hook it back to the far post. This time, this doesn't happen. Restart. Touching ball, looking for Koite. Left roll just out for more than a throw in. Now Patrick Kakande chomping at the bit to get onto the pitch. For the moment, just can only do much to encourage his teammates on the pitch. They do have possession, but they must make use of it. An oncoming attacker. Senegal pressing with dedication and determination. They've been here before. Managed to win a slew of games in the 2022 African Nations Championship in Algeria by a 1-0 scoreline, particularly in the knockout stages. Solitary goal tends to do the deed for them. Attempting to clear it, and that just brushes off Crane's player, rolls over the line. That's a throw-in. A couple of substitutions are also in the offing here for the Cranes. Looks like Jonah Patrick Kakande will be one of those. The other, Yunus Junior Sentamu. Fans continue to chant, continue to believe. That will be key for the 12th man to stay rooted in the game. 21 minutes and counting. Omaba. This is Labise Guy. Fashions out across. Mutakuwa picks that with ease. Launches a long ball. First time looking for Regan Pande. It's headed clear. No one to pick up the return ball here from Senegal. Omaba. All the way back to Asane Sisse. McPhillips, Asane, Aruna Diouf. By Ndiaye. To a long searching ball. Serunjoji losing out. Nick back heel here from Gaye Labise. Crane still dominating on possession. But it's the goal that has settled for the lives of Terenga. Koite still holding on to the ball. Sends it to the flank. Back to Koite. Posing figure that he is. The Cranes chasing shadows by Ndiaye. Back to the goalkeeper, Phillips Diouf. Uganda so far attempted 11 shots in this match, which is higher than their usual average of 10.7. The African Nations Championship. None has proved definitive enough to earn them reprise. Achai. Sebagala. It's back to Sebagala from Torach. Plays it to Anolodong. Habat Achai. Regan Pande. Glances up, finds Okello. Okello tries to get to Ahimbisiwe quick. It's a definitive breakthrough here from Serun Joji. That ball is lost instantly. Now Koite holds possession here for the Lions of Terenga. Not in a rush to get forward. Be happy to let the rest of the team slip into their defensive position. And there's a clean chip in, looking for Cisse. It's just muscled off that ball. That was a brilliant, incisive breakaway from Vic Cisse. Ododong doing just enough within the confines of the game to keep him off his mark. Once again to Mpande. Has another battle here. Shows too much of that ball to Dodaba. Now is it out here for a throw-in. Dodaba doing a brilliant job to keep Mpande shackled. Imbisiwe. That ball forward. And the Gavin Chizito goes to the ground. Counter-attack is launched by Senegal. Foul here by Serun Joji, and it's a free kick. Oh, 3 substitutions that have proven to be quite the master stroke here by Sulemane Diallo, Cisse, Koite, and Issa Ken. Okane definitely made their mark. Now it's chance to make a swap up by the Cranes. In comes Yunus Junior Sentamo, take the place of Regan Mpande, and surprise, surprise, it's Abdul Karim Watambala that will exit the game. In his place will be Jonah Patrick Kakande. Well, a slight drizzle descends on the Mandela National Stadium. There's often a held notion of superstition that the Cranes never lose when it rains at the Mandela National Stadium. Well, they'll need that superstition now to be put to the test more than ever. Libase Guy takes the cross and earns a corner. Clock steadily ticking away from the Cranes. Senegal be definitive in knowing that all they need to do now is keep their defensive shape intact, and they will be home and dry. 6 clean sheets in their last 7 games. Conceded only 2 goals in the last 9 games of the CHAN tournament. It's a tall order to get past this Senegalese defense. Kakande keeps the ball in play. Achai looks to spread the ball out here, looking for Alan Okello. Needs to get as influential as he can right now. Spreads it out for Yunus Junior Sentamo, the hitman. Back to Okello. Okello through the center for Sebagala. Back to Okello. Long searching pass there from Serun Joji, but thwarted on the first attempt by Senegal. Kakande into the flank. Jonah Patrick and Okello. Quick glance around, seeking options. Sebagala. Gavin Chizito through the center. Mbisiwe makes himself available. That ball is lost. Blind pass there from Serun Joji. Koite in possession. Pass out of the flank, closing down. Cranes retrieve possession. Kakande on the attack. They have options. The ball is clinched away. Just enough here to put the ball into touch as Nicolas Mwere looks a little disillusioned. A similar fate that is shared by many in attendance. 34,202 right here in the Nelson Mandela Stadium. As Molebi Ekwaso have enough in his magic bag of tricks once again to upset the apple cat. Odong. Serun Joji. Sebagala trying to play it forward for Kakande. Cranes looking to hug the lines and play out on the width as much as possible. Once again, go through that emotional grinder. A fate they felt just a couple of days ago against South Africa on Monday. 5 days later, they are right back in the same place. Torach. There's a slip up here, could be an opportunity for a counter. Good pick up here from Cisse, tries to drift his way in. Seru Joji lost his footing and quite nearly handed the initiative to the Lions of Terenga. Alan Okello's timely intervention doing just enough. They have really pounced out here. Cisse with clear daylight in front of him. Alan Okello putting in a defensive shift here. It's a corner kick. Cisse plays for Union Sportive Gorine down in Senegal. We'll have a corner, slippery surface out there on the beach, judging by the number of slips and falls. Sentamu doesn't make as much contact with the ball as he would have wanted. Okello onto the ball. Definitive pass, gets it to Senegala. Spreads it out for Kakande, wrong-footed by his own boots. And Daudaba just keeps it in play. They have the numbers and getting behind the ball. Youth launches a long ball going route one to Lebase Guy, brings that calmly under control. Just in one way, then the other. Putting the pains on Gavin Chizito. He's sticking to him like a shadow. Rach. They're giving away the ball there without being under pressure, and Senegala fouling again. Already on a yellow card, walking quite a bit of the tightrope. Senegala in that midfield. Wouldn't be surprised if a little later on they pick him as a man for substitution. Omar just got a touch on that and was looking to get onto the front foot. So a couple of instructions there to the latest signing from Viper Sports Club, Enoch Senegala. In the meantime, there'll be another substitution. Samboye, who introduced into the fray a little later on. Mana plays for Yambas down in Senegal. Coming in. Pass to the flank. Joseph Layose. Ball headed away. Senegala. Heavy touch, but still retains possession. Tries the Trivela pass. Looking for Ivan Ahibisiwe. Loses out. Moussa Cisse. Plays the ball back to the goalkeeper. Diouf. Looks to go route one. Now that will be easy pickings here for Lomotakuwa. Gets the ball in motion once again. Abata Chai. Mano Dodong. This is Rogers Torach. Double substitution anticipated for Lions of Terenga. Thwart that ball clear. Boite looking for Cisse. These two having a perfect combination, feeding off each other. Now bringing Lebase Guy to the game. Teasing, drawing in his marker, creating some semblance of space. Cross was anticipated well and closed down here by Rogers Torach. Cranes still have the lion's share of the possession. Not much it's doing them in terms of favors. And they have 10 minutes to keep themselves alive in the African Nations Championship. Shot from distance. Miscued and skewed off target. Just rolls away harmlessly here for a goal kick. 10 minutes for the Uganda Cranes to find a way back into this game. 10 minutes for Senegal to make their mark and join Morocco by becoming only the second defending champion to reach the semi-finals. There's a substitution to that effect. Moussa Cisse is the man that is withdrawn in his place. Insamboye will be the man to take his spot. very, very good run that he's put in and holding his mark in that midfield. The other is Libase Gaye. That's the player that is with every ounce of the game. The front foot. Hefty touch from Osama Arafat. Serun Joji plays it back. Torach. Arnold Odom. Kakande turning one way, then the other. Leaves his marker trailing. Kakande now picks his pass. Tries to get a ball to Ivan Ahimbisiwe. Has two markers bearing down on him. Abatachai. Kakande. Kakande to Achai. Achai. The cross is in! And unable to make the mark. Oh, way too close. And Crispas Kusima knows that might have been the get out of jail card. They are still shackled. They are still locked down by the Lions of Terenga. And for the moment, the Crane had quite nearly swiped at the Lions here. Habatachai, brilliant delivery. Gavin Chizito and Osama Arafat trying to raise themselves to the trajectory of the ball. It just wasn't to be. Olivier Kwaso, as always, appreciative of his charges. Frustration quite evident. 89 minutes and counting. Takubwa handing off here to pick up the ball. And launches a quick one up front. Easily repelled here by the defense. And once again, back to Mutakubwa, who goes walkers about. That ball is left to roll out here for a goal kick. And there's confirmation here to the Bismail Valan Okello as he realizes the Cranes have 4 minutes left in this tournament if they cannot find a score. Kakande. We'll talk about living on borrowed time. That's exactly where the Cranes are right now. But there's a pass up front for Sebagala. And still manages to stay on his feet. Sebagala picks across, averted by Issa. Steal for the Cranes. Kakande goes to the ground. Referee says play the game. The counter-attack. Lions of Terenga still have possession. Looking to close down with numbers. Good intelligent play from Serun Joji. Stafakiza goes to the ground. It's a free kick. And a yellow card here. Referee brandishes one. The drizzle continues. Anxiety sky high. Panic sets in as reality began to knock at the door. The 7-time appearances, the Uganda Cranes, 7-time participants in this tournament. Will their 7th expedition come to a close in the next couple of minutes? Ball clipped away. Brilliant from the captain, Asane Sise. The Cranes still have possession. Looking to fashion out an opportunity from the left. That's a handball. And there's a striker onto the pitch. The game will have to be paused momentarily. That's the frustration of Ugandans. Abatachai, frustrated. Bench looking resolute. The fans realize it's going to take another miracle to stay in this game. Have they still won? A chance comes up. Ball blocked away. Opportunity. Miracles they ask for, miracles they get, but still not quite for the Uganda Cranes. The defense resolute. Lions of Terenga intent on retaining their crown. Jonah Patrick Kakande gets into a physical duel and comes out the worst. Sise will now hold on to the ball. Now there's a clean breakaway with numbers forward. There could be an opportunity for a cutback. Setting themselves, teasing, taunting. The shot comes in eventually. Soft target. Senegal looking to make their mark. That would have been good night and God bless from the Lions of Terenga to the Uganda Cranes. still just. They will believe, they will hope, they will anticipate, they will hope to create. That long ball cleared over perimeter. For some fans, reality seems to dawn on them that this far they have come and no further will they go. Senegal intent. Referee says carry on. Himbisibwe looking to pass the ball forward. Sama Arafat easily dispossessed. Ball clear. Frantic few moments left. We are 10 seconds or less. Gavin. Brush off, looking for support from Habatachai. That ball nudged out. And the final whistle sounds here at the Nelson Mandela Stadium. The defending champions proving they still have enough in the tank to scale the mountain once again and look for the perch of the summit. For the Uganda Cranes, the heroics were written in the stages before. But here, on unfamiliar terrain, here in the uncharted waters of the knockout stage, there is no room for redemption. There is no chance for a second take. One shot, one goal, one kill, and the Cranes have been brought crashing down to the ground at the Nelson Mandela Stadium. It's full time. Uganda Cranes 0. Lions of Terenga, Senegal 1. Well, there'll be no songs to sing here for the fans. There'll be no chants. There'll be no celebrations. Only reflections on the glorious journey that they have had that has led them thus far. This is as far as they'll go. Himbisibwe, for the first time brought on as a substitute and not having a mark on the game. Frustration is evident, but they'll have a wry smile about them. For this time, they managed to go a step further than they normally do. Managed to qualify from the group stages, but only just one stage later. And now they will only be participants from the sidelines. They'll only be spectators in the pavilions. Their journey ends here. With the Cranes' defeat, that marks the last of the hosts in the running. And it is now free for all the players and all the teams that are still in the contest. Senegal joining Morocco and Madagascar in the game. And there will be one slot later that will be decided at the New Amman Stadium in the semi-finals. But for now, the Senegalese will have themselves a much-deserved rest. They pitted their wits against the entire team and its home support, and still managed to come out top of the pops. Moment to huddle up together and celebrate. And the man of the match, rightly so, the citadel at the defense. Mbaye Sieni is the man that has been resolute at the back. Long clearances, be them aerial, be them on the ground. He put in a shift that was worthwhile. The Cranes have had their mythical superstition of never losing at the Mandela National Stadium when it rains brought to a close. Well, in a muted Nelson Mandela Stadium, the tale of the tape will tell very interesting things. Uganda getting their very first upper hand. Senegal 7-3 on target, 1 landing flush.